right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, whose true name is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mechakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do well. Peace and salutations to the Akim doing the work in truth and in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is your brother Amawan Ariella with the GMS Miami Camp. And today I wanted to go into a topic of persecution. We have a Monday class, and on Monday we was talking about persecution and the things that can possibly happen, as being part of the elect, and what to be prepared for. And one of the precepts that I brought out was in the book of 2nd Ezra 7, in verse 6 on down, okay? And in these last days, for the most part, we have to have a certain mindset, right, and a certain expectation, okay? And understand what this thing is really about. Okay, we're coming to a close of this era, a close of an age, okay, where the Heavenly Father is going to expose Esau, Edom, for who and what he really is. And he's going to slowly taking away Esau's power, so to speak, right? His influence on the world. The world is now starting to see that Esau, Edom is not, what she made herself out to be. And when I say she, I'm talking about America, aka Babylon, okay? America's not that golden city, man. All right? It's full of putrefying sores. It's full of all type of wickedness. And the Heavenly Father's exposing it, okay? And, the next thing to come is going to be the kingdom of heaven, okay? Matter of fact, let me grab this precept real quick in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, starting at verse 9. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Ezra 6, starting at verse 9, and it reads, for Esau's, let me go up a little bit. Starting at verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Okay, now we know that Esau sold his birthright to his brother Jacob. Okay, but Esau cried to his father bitterly and asked his father if he had, but a blessing for me. And Jacob blessed him. And he told Esau that he would have the fatness of the earth, but he would get it through his blessing, which is the sword. Okay, so now we're starting to see, Esau coming into power, slowly but surely. Especially when we talk about the Renaissance, the rebirth. Esau was able to come back into power. Well, he was always in power, starting with Alexander the Greek, the Crete. Okay, and then, we had the Romans, but, Rome fell. And, he was pushed out of obscurity for 1,000 years, but came back during the time of the Renaissance, the rebirth. And ever since he's been back, he's just been ruling with the sword, man. All right? Conquering nations, taking lands by force. All right? Converting people into his religion, into his ideology by force. Okay? But now we're starting to see the weaning of this nation, man. It's starting to fade away slowly but surely. It doesn't have the same power that it once had before. Okay, so going on, it says in verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Okay, this was a prophecy. Okay, and it indicated something. It says in verse 9, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, which tells us that the person ruling when the world is going to end is Esau, Edom, and who's currently in the position of power. It ain't the so-called Negro, it ain't the so-called Native American, it's not the so-called Latino. All right, right now, who we see in power is the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man. In reality, he's not white; he's really red. Right? This is where we get the word Edom or Idumean, meaning red. Esau means wasted away is he. All right, so there are clear indicators to show you who the wicked of this world is today. And it's a so-called white man, all right, who proclaims himself to be pure and righteous, but really, he's the opposite of that, okay? So Esau is the end of this world, the end of this age, and the next, kingdom to come up is going to be the kingdom of righteousness, right? Yasha Allah, which means he's the prince of the power, all right? And Yahweh Shai is our big brother. He's going to be there with us, man, ruling with us. Well, we're going to be ruling with him, Okay, because he's sharing his inheritance with us, man. I mean, he chose us out of this world. We didn't choose him. He chose us. And this is why we give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, for wiping the dust off of us, wiping the dirt off of us, and giving us the opportunity to praise and worship the Heavenly Father through His Son. Okay, but in order for us to inherit this up and coming kingdom, there are going to be some things that we're going to have to go through. Okay, this path that we have to walk is a straight and narrow path, man. But only one person can walk it at a time. Let me see. All right, so let me get the book of 2 Ezra 7 and 6. It says, there is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things, right? So this is the analogy of the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is the city that's built upon a broad field and is full of all good things, man. Whatever your mind can conceive, take that, multiply it times 1,000,000. All right? New bodies, no death, no sickness. We're going to be the head and not the tail. Okay? We're going to have riches beyond your imagination. We get to enjoy our children. No divorces. No hunger. No pain. The kingdom of heaven. Now, if we hope to inherit these things, it says, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left, deep water. Right? Both represent what? Peril. You could drown in the water, and you could get burned in the fire. So you got to be able to stay on that path, that one path, as it says in 2 Ezra 7 and 8. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, which is this truth. You veer to the left, you're scarred. You veer to the right, you're screwed. So the only way you can really walk is that straight and narrow path, man. Okay? It says, and even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Right? Okay? Because you have to tread lightly in this truth, man. You know, yes, we have freedoms, but you gotta be very careful, man. All right? Not to be tempted by your own evil desires, and not to go back into the world, man. There's a lot of brothers that came into this truth, that learned the truth, that taught the truth, but they're back into the world now. Okay? Reverence and respect for Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai is highly necessary when in this truth, man, because at any given moment, he could take away the truth. He could take away his name. Okay? Verse 9 says, and if this city were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger that is set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance, right? We're going to have to go through certain things, okay, to be able to inherit the kingdom, man. It's not going to be a cakewalk, like, you know, that's a saying in the world. It's not going to be a cakewalk, right? Let me grab this precept real quick. Let me see if I can get in the Blue Letter Bible. All right, it's going to be in the book of Acts, chapter 14, starting at verse 22. Okay? And it reads, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in faith, that we must, through tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High God. Okay? And let's get that word tribulation. That word tribulation in the Greek.
Strong's G 2347. Thlipsis.
Okay. The first definition says pressing together, pressure. The second one, which is a metaphor, says oppression, affliction, distress, straits, anguish. persecution, burden, to be afflicted. This is tribulation, trouble. Okay? So going back to Acts 14 and 22, it says, confirming the souls of disciples and exhorting them to continue in faith, that we must through much trouble, affliction, persecution, enter into the kingdom of the Most High God. It's not going to be a cakewalk. NLT says, where they strengthen believers, they encourage them to continue in faith, reminding them that we must suffer many hardships to enter into the kingdom of the Most High God, right? Because we're going to be made to seem like public enemy number one. And you're going to need a huge amount of faith in these last days for the Lord to deliver you. This is why these little skirmishes that we go through in life right now is very important, because we get to train our spiritual muscle, our faith muscle. What did James 1 and 2 says, count it all joy when you go through diverse temptations, when you go through diverse hardships, persecutions, you count it all joy. Why? Because it's a trying of your faith. I'm quoting it, might as well bring it out. This is James 1 and 2. It says, start at verse 1, James, a servant of the Most High God and of the Lord, of the Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, of the 12 tribes which are scattered, it says, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, when you fall into different troubles. Count it all joy, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Okay, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So these little situations where we short on rent, can't pay the light bill, phone about to get disconnected. You know what I'm saying to you? You have to say, call Halayim Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. Because this is now a time for you to express your faith, to show the Heavenly Father that you trust Him, that He's going to deliver you out of these situations that you encounter. Okay? And the reason for this video more so is because, the Heavenly Father gave me a deep revelation last night. Man, I had a heavy dream last night. It was heavy. Okay? It was very heavy. And let's put it this way. The enemy's going to come in like a flood. Okay? And the Lord's going to have to lift up a standard for His men. Okay? To be delivered out of the situation. Now, you're going to have men that's going to be persecuted, meaning what? They're going to be put to death for the name of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. Okay? You're going to have men that are going to be taken into prison. But it's also a balance to it, man. You're going to have a huge number of people who's going to be delivered in those times, in a sense to where the Lord is going to give them supernatural power, or His men, supernatural power to help deliver a whole multitude, man. And once again, your faith has to be on 1,000,000 in those days, man. You got to really trust in Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. Faith is an activator, okay? It is a catalyst to spiritual power, man. You need faith in order for the Lord to bless you. If you don't trust in Him, why would He give you spiritual power to deliver yourself? You've already condemned yourself by doubting Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. Okay? Let's go on. This is the book of Matthew 7 and 13. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, right? Everybody wants to take the easy path. Nobody wants to walk the hard path, man. All right, but that wide and easy path is what? It leads to destruction, man. Okay? It says, and many there be which go in thereat. So you have a lot of people walking this broad path, right? And it says, hey, homosexuality is okay, or eating pork is fine, and and all these different things, man. All right, call them on a different name, on a different power. All right, talking to you, Jakes, man. The name of your power is not the name of that Edomite that's posted up on every black man's wall, every black home. No, man. All right. That red devil, he is not the true image of who the Bible talks about. And it's not even, he doesn't even bear the name of the true power. The name of the true power in His Son is Yahweh. The name of His Son is Yahweh Shai. All right, there's none other name given under heaven by which men might be saved. You need that name to receive salvation. You need that name to receive spiritual power. You cannot deliver yourself. You won't be able to deliver yourself. James 1:12 says, "Blessed is a man that endureth temptation, that endures the hard time, the persecution. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." Right? We have a crown of life waiting for us, Akia. Why not endure? Why not persevere? Why not keep pushing forward, man, for your crown? Now is not the time to doubt or to fear. Yeah, naturally we're human, that fear, but really you shouldn't have to ponder on that fear. Once you feel that fear, which is it's a feeling, and feelings are just indications, you say to yourself, there's nothing to fear. Whether in life or death, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, he got me. He got me. He got you. He got us. Lord willing, I'll be a part of the elect. Lord willing, you be a part of the elect. Okay? This is John 14:6. It says, Yahweh Shai said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father, but by me. Right? You need Yahweh Bashmi Shai, not Yahuwah, not Yeshua, not Yahweh, not Joshua, none of that. The true name is Yahweh Bashmi Shai. There's no other name given under heaven. I said it twice, so I might as well bring it out. This is the book of Acts 4:12. It says, neither is there salvation in any other. Right? There's no salvation in any other name. For there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. There's no other name that's given to us. If we expect to receive salvation, we must call on the proper name of the Son, which is Yahweh Shai. Pursuant to Matthew 1:21, it says what? You shall call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their transgressions or their sins. Okay? But expect to go through hard times. All right? Expect persecution, man. Let me grab this other precept. The book of Isaiah 59:19 says, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And when you go into that word standard, it goes into take flight or put to flight. Okay? The Lord is going to give us supernatural power to be able to, to defend ourselves and to destroy our enemies, man. Okay? But in these last days, we have to stay vigilant. We have to keep our eyes on the prize, which is the kingdom. Because the Lord said it himself. This is Luke 12:32. He says, fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Yahweh Shai wants to give us the kingdom. But in order to enter the kingdom, we're going to enter it with much tribulation. But in that tribulation, the Heavenly Father is going to lift up the standard for the elect, to where they can now put to flight or to take flight, reappear, disappear, or combat if need so, to defend the elderly, the young, the ones who can't really defend themselves. And right now, we really can't defend ourselves. We're like worms, man. We need Yahweh Shai. Up until the very end, we're going to always need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. The author and finisher of our faith. Okay, but I just wanted to drop this little, 1-2 real quick. Lord willing, that's what's edifying. We have to have the right mindset, man. We know this place is about to get dissolved. This place is about to get destroyed. So our mind needs to be on a certain level. Our faith needs to be on a certain level. There's no room for doubt. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachachodash. Shalom.